We have a brand new mock trade that we have to break down, highlighting the Boston Red Sox and really what it would take to go out and acquire right-handed pitcher from the Seattle Mariners, Luis Castillo. I'm here to break down all the bits and pieces on this episode of Red Sox Digest, but first remember, if you're a part of the 86.5% currently watching this video, not currently subscribed to the channel, and want to stay up to date on everything Red Sox, scroll down and subscribe. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys so very much. But now let's get to it and break down the new offseason updates surrounding the Boston Red Sox and the pitching they are trying to acquire this offseason. Now, as we all know, we missed out on Blake Snell. We missed out on Max Fried, so we went out and made a blockbuster trade for Garrett Crochet, a young, promising left-handed arm that seems to be the arm of the next 5 to 8 years for this Red Sox team, if we choose to extend him, which we should. But again, now we are having more conversations surrounding this Red Sox team and not signing free agents to new contracts, but trading for other pitching. Now, this tweet by Jim Bowden goes on to highlight his article where it goes on to say, Luis Castillo to the Red Sox, suggesting MLB trades, signings to bolster 6 would-be contenders. Obviously, if we click on the picture, it takes us to the article where it goes on to say this. The second bullet point, the second big move that he suggests this offseason was the Mariners to trade right-handed pitcher Luis Castillo to the Boston Red Sox, not only for the first baseman Tristian Casas, but as well as prospect third baseman / first baseman Blaze Jordan. Now, before we get into the justification from Bowden on this crazy mock trade and this crazy trade idea for the Red Sox as well as the Mariners, I'm going to quickly highlight Tristian Casas and why this would be absolute robbery for the Seattle Mariners, and I don't want the Boston Red Sox to do this. Now, obviously, Tristian Casas has not been the healthiest player in the MLB by any stretch of the imagination, and last year he only played in 63 games, where, again, he only had 243 at-bats. He did post a 241 batting average and was able to hit 13 home runs and knock in 32 RBIs. If we look at the year prior, the one time we actually got to see Casas for basically a full season and basically staying healthy for the majority of that season, he played in 132 games. He posted a 2.2 WAR, which if you look was significantly better than his rookie year as well as last year. Then if you look at the home runs, obviously 24 home runs, 65 RBIs. This is someone Breslow has been on the record saying we have a lot of really expectations and a lot of promise with Tristian Casas, expecting this guy to have a year, if not years, where he's hitting 40 plus home runs for this Red Sox organization. So for the Boston Red Sox to go out and trade Tristian Casas to the Seattle Mariners, I would not hate that idea. And again, we've talked about this in previous Red Sox videos. But Castillo cannot be the pitcher returning. We have to have a conversation. What about Bryce Miller? What about Bryan Wu? These guys, I know they're young. I know they are extremely good, and the potential is A++ based off of the last year that we just saw from both of these very 25 or less or younger guys. And again, I understand that. But for the Red Sox to try to go out there and make a big splash, do not force something and attempt to go out and acquire this arm. Yes, Castillo has been to the playoffs 2 years. And the last time he was with the Seattle Mariners, he did pitch very, very well. He is an experienced arm. He's been in the league for some time now, obviously, as the last 3 years have played. He's played in Seattle, where, again, he's been good. He has not been great. He's been that 3+ ERA compared to those years prior where he was with Cincinnati. And, again, he was just under that 3 ERA mark. But, again, is this someone you want to see the Boston Red Sox go out and really try to push the needle and acquire? I don't think that's going to be really what that pushes us over the edge. Could we use an extra arm? Could we add some depth? Absolutely. But moving someone in Tristian Casas, who has so much upside and so much potential, not even get to the idea of a Blaze Jordan being also moved as well in this trade, I do not like this. Obviously, we've talked about it before, where the Boston Red Sox apparently offered a 1-for-1 for Bryce Miller, and the Seattle Mariners shut it straight down. But again, do not go back to them and offer them that trade. I think that would be highway robbery for the Seattle Mariners. They need a first baseman. They need a bat desperately. Obviously, we have them. We have Tristian Casas, which we could use as a trade piece, and it will be very, very significant because he has so much value. But again, let's go on to cite Bowden and really what his justification is behind this idea of moving Casas to the Mariners as well as Blaze Jordan for Luis Castillo. As he goes on to say, if the Red Sox don't land free agent ace Corbin Burnes, which they are trying to do, they could pivot and sign Alex Bregman to play third base, which would necessitate a move of Rafael Devers to first and allow them to trade Casas and a corner infielder such as a prospect in Blaze Jordan for Castillo to further improve their rotation. Casas, 24, profiles as a future 25 to 30 home run power bat. He won't be eligible for arbitration until 2026. Jordan, who will turn 22 this week, was a third-round pick in 2020. He batted .261, .305, and .388 with 7 home runs and 22 doubles last season in Double-A. Win-win for both organizations. Now, I think he's underselling Casas just a little bit when he says 25 to 30 home runs. We saw him hit 24, 26, whatever that number was, just 2 years ago when we got to see him play a full string of games, and he actually was able to stay healthy for the majority of that season. Now, I'm willing to bet on Tristian Casas in this scenario. I would love to see him maintain a Boston Red Sox. I know he's young. He has so much value in a possible trade. I don't mind possibly seeing him moved because obviously Devers and the other guys aren't going anywhere, but if we could package him and Yoshida, possibly Blaze Jordan, and we could go out and get someone like a Bryce Miller, like a Bryan Wu, I would be ecstatic for this Boston Red Sox team. I would love either Bryce Miller or Bryan Wu over a Jared Jones, who again is very, very good and very young with a lot of upside. I think both those guys would move the needle a bunch. And obviously, it might not catch the headlines because they are so young. But if we go back and we go through the nitty-gritty of those stats, which I would love to do if you guys want to see a video like that, covering both of those guys and just how damn good they are at such a young age and why it would be such a massive move for this Boston Red Sox team. Now, again, we went through all of the ideas, and the last thing we're going to highlight is Breslow here, as he was talking on MLB Network and on a phone call, and he was discussing the pitching and how he was emphasizing the depth and how the bullpen flamed out towards the end of the year, and we really needed to improve on that. Now, we've seen that with 3 signings this offseason up to this point, all being left-handed relievers, if not closing type of pitchers. Aroldis Chapman, Slayton, again, we need to see more. I know we need more depth in this. Castillo would be a great arm to add the depth, but he would be a starter. Without a doubt, he would be one of the top starters for the Red Sox as currently constructed. We need to see them start spending money. Go out and get Burnes. If you're going to make this trade, don't get robbed. Do not send Casas in a prospect for Luis Castillo. Go out and try to get one of these young guys with a lot of potential. I think it will go a long, long way for this Red Sox organization, and I think it would really boost the morale in the sense of, hey, these guys are gamers. They talked a lot of smack. We didn't get Soto. They didn't get Blake Snell. They didn't get Fried. But look what they have done. They're making good at with what they have. Obviously, it's because they've missed out on a lot of big-name players, and there's a lot of possible free agents still available that are free agents for this Red Sox team that they could possibly go out and really inquire about. Obviously, Flaherty, we've seen a lot of conversations, and then obviously Charlie Morton, Sean Manaea, Nick Pivetta, all these guys could possibly end up in Boston if they were just willing to go out and spend a little bit of money. Now, the reason we haven't done that could be the possibility that we need to see if we can make any of these trades to really move around this roster just a little bit. And again, that's why we have to play the waiting game just a little bit longer. We just discussed Teoscar Hernandez and really how we have an idea of what that contract should look like and what he's expecting, and why the hell the Red Sox haven't gone out and paid this man already and really acquired this guy. Obviously, that may be because they are trying to do things behind closed doors and make some moves to really open up this roster and this lineup just a bit more. Again, it's just a waiting game. I can't wait to see how things play out. Again, you'll catch it all on this channel of Red Sox Digest. We do appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.